YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So this is another blade that I've been loaned for review purposes. Thanks, you know who you are for loaning me this knife for review. This is the Lionsteel SR11 ARS, which is basically, the SR11 is the model. ARS just basically means that it's a red aluminium red. So yeah, this is quite an interesting knife. I would almost call it one of the knives that I've always been after, because my belief is that the one of my favorite blades from Ganzo was actually designed around this knife design, and I've always been after one of these, and I haven't managed to find one. So although this one is not mine, I have to say that it is on loan to me for this review. I would love to get my hands on one of these at some point in time. I'm not too sure when and how that would look, but definitely a blade that I'd love to get my hands on. So let's open up. I mean, this isn't a brand new knife. This has been in the user's collection for a while. So we do have some documentation. We have the special tool for removing this, which is there. And there you have the knife itself. So let's get into a little bit of detail about this knife. Talk a little bit around what it offers. So yeah, you have the Lionsteel SR11. It's a really interesting looking knife. You've got this aluminium scales with the sort of bumps to give it a bit of traction. You've got a hole there for a loop or a lanyard. And you've got this really interesting flipper with a hole through it. I'm not too sure if the hole has a purpose. But if you look at the whole scales of this knife, this is one piece of aluminium that's been machined out. And then obviously you run your bearings and your flipper, etc. inside there. So that's quite an interesting design. I really like that. This clip, I'm not sure it's my favorite, but it'll definitely get the job done. And then of course you got that little glass breaker spiky bit on the back over there. Yeah, this for me would definitely be one of my have-to-have knives. Whether I'd actually get my hands on one or not, I don't know. Time will tell. You've got a nice full flat grind. You've got a bit of a false edge at the back over here. The back edge of this knife is very well rounded, but there is a bit of a 90-degree bite there, which could be utilized. I'm not sure. I'd have to test that. But yeah, incredibly nice looking blade, I must say. As you can see here, you've got a nice full-size blade to handle sort of comparison. One piece of aluminium here for the scale/handle. This interesting flipper which actually prevents your hand now from flying up onto the blade. I wouldn't use that for getting up on personal on the blade. This you would have to use sort of in this sort of configuration if you're wanting to do a bit of fine work. Let's get in close and have a look. It's a very interesting shape, which I'm hoping you guys can see. Yeah, what a great looking knife, guys. Let's get onto the other side. This is where all the mechanics is. You can see the lockup mechanism over here. This is a frame lock adjustment for that. And then there you have the other side of the blade. Does need a bit of a cleanup, but yeah, it is there. The engagement or the blade lockup is sufficient. I would feel a little bit more comfortable it was a little bit more than that, to be honest. But you know what? It'll get the job done. It may just be that it needs to wear in a little bit with use. I'm not sure. Blade is quite loose. Could wear in a little bit. It's got a very positive detent at the bottom. There's no thumb studs or anything on this knife here as an option, so you couldn't do any other sort of flipping options with it. The only option is to use the flipper mechanism, which is not bad at all. I mean, I kind of like that. And yeah, let's talk technicals on this knife. So this is where it gets interesting. The SR11 is an EDC folding knife, manufactured with the exclusive solid knife technology. Light and strong, high technology knife. I think the aluminium unibody is very, very, very cool, in my opinion. The knife length is 211 millimeters, blade length 94 millimeters, blade thickness 4.5 millimeters, and she is 146 grams. It's made with something called Sleipner steel, satin finish. There's a frame lock, aluminium frame, red handle covers, of course. Quite an interesting knife. Designed by Molletta. I think it is a very, very, very sexy design, if I want to say that. But yeah, love this knife actually. Really, really do. So next up, let's see how sharp she is. Like I said, I don't know historically if she's been used or anything like that. She's still incredibly sharp. There is a bit of a... Nope, it's not there. It almost felt like there was a little bit of a blunt spot, but that was my imagination. She's incredibly sharp still, despite anything. It's a really cool knife. I think this blade steel is quite interesting, to be honest. I don't know the properties of the steel too well, but I guess let's do a little bit of research and talk about that. So it is quite a sizely knife, which I like. I like bigger, stronger knives. My feeling is it does miss a few things, possibly like a bit of jumping on the back here, but I guess that's just being really fussy. I think the knife is incredibly nice. The way it is, like I say, this is probably one of the knives that I would love to have in my collection and to actually utilize. But yeah, I guess we can't have everything that we want, can we? Let's check out how this thing rides in the pocket. The clip does look a little bit loose at the moment, but it is a deep pocket carry, meaning that it does disappear into the pocket quite nice with quite a small clip on the outside, lending to it being quite well hidden in pocket. As far as pocket access, very easy. You have your knife and you're ready to roll. So guys, just to conclude, I think this Lionsteel SR11 made with a really interesting steel and running on bearings is an incredible knife. I mean, this is, I would go so far as to say this is one of the knives that I would cherish in the collection if I was to have one. So the owner, you know who you are. If you ever change your mind about this one, do let me know. It's an incredibly comfortable knife. It's the right sort of size that I would use and carry every day for sort of tasks that I would need a pocket knife for. It's big, but it's still compact enough that it doesn't completely stand out too much, sort of in an office environment. Look, you wouldn't pull this thing out in a business meeting to open up something because that would just be unprofessional. But it is a great knife, a great looking knife. The red color is quite interesting. Maybe not my first choice, but I do like it. It's growing on me. And yeah, you pretty much have the SR11, which I know this design or this baseline design, not even anything like this, is made by other companies, almost like a replica, but not a replica because they don't call it a Lionsteel. Like Ganzo makes their own version of this. It's not a one piece of aluminium like this knife is, which is amazing. I think that's brilliant. And it's probably one of the reasons I like this knife so much, to be honest. And of course, that blade shape. This blade shape, people know me. This is one of my favorite blade shapes. I like the sort of deep sweeping cutting edge. I like the false edge. Even if it was a bit shorter, it would have been fine. It is my favorite sort of knife shape. And this one with a longer false edge in the back, I really, really, really like that. So that concludes my video on the SR11 from Lionsteel. Let me know your thoughts. What do you guys think of these? Do you own one of these? What are your thoughts on it long-term use? Look, I'm not going to have this for very long because I just borrowed it for this review, just to show you guys what an amazing looking knife this really is. That's it, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope your Easter has been really good, and have a great week further. please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, subscribe, and watch the space. There will be some giveaways coming soon. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Cheers for now.